about the entities that we were talking about the other day. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of clarification. And I just want you guys to, again, not be in fear. I think that's the biggest thing that I want to get through today. Hey guys, if you're in the Embodied Grace community group, would you share this into there? I wanted to come live on my page today because I do want to start creating a little bit more conversation about this. So in the Facebook group, we had a post from a video I did in there the other day, and I'm talking about entities and the trickery and using discernment, okay? But the question was, and I wrote it down so that I'd make sure to get it right, the question was, how do you get them to leave your space? But what I want to go over first is when entities are around, it's kind of as simple as the old cartoons that we used to see where like the angel's on one side and the devil's on the other. Thanks, Alyssa. Thank you for sharing it to the group. I don't know how to do it from my phone. But anyway, so going back to the entities, it's as simple as that. The little devil or angel on your shoulder, like that's kind of how the entities will talk to you. So again, I just want to make sure everybody understands that there's nothing to be afraid of, but you have power over it. You don't have to accept that, the voice, right? You don't have to listen to that, and you don't have to be swayed by it. So the question was, how do you get them to leave your space? And I feel like that's a really good question. I kind of covered it a little bit in the video, but I feel like since that question is still there, I wanted to come back and talk about that a little bit more. So the best way to get the entities or the lower vibrations or whatever to leave your space is to not be in a low vibration. Like, and I know that sounds super, super simple, but here's the thing. If you're down and if you're sad or if you're frustrated or if you're angry or whatever, they like that energy because that's the energy that they feed off of. So the best way to do that is to get yourself out of that vibration. So if you're angry, shake it off, do what you got to do, and then figure out what you need to do to raise your vibration. Do you need to meditate? Do you need to take a walk? Do you need to pray? Do you need to take a nap? Like, there's all these different things that you can do to raise your vibration. And the thing is, like, in the videos I'm talking about, I see entities around. They don't bother me that much, but I noticed that and I was actually talking to somebody else that does some of this work the other day too, and he said, whenever you have, we all have emotions, right? So we all get like that. When your emotions dip very long, then they're attracted to that energy. And since they're kind of around everywhere, right? Then that's why it's so important. Like the things that I teach about, what are you thinking about? What thoughts are in your head? And then asking, is this mine? Like, is this really what I think? Is this really how I feel? Is this really my main, like, base state of being? Because if not, then you can say, wait a minute, is this even mine? Or is there a lower negative vibration around me that I'm kind of matching with right now because I'm not in a good mood, or because I'm down, or because of, whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is, but the idea is raise your vibration, right? So one of the best ways that I like to do it is, I really love listening to like nature sounds or meditation music. Like there's one that's on, and there's a lot on YouTube that are free, right? So like the Tibetan bowls with I don't even remember what it's called. It's like a singing bowls, but it has like wind chimes in the background. And there's like some that are like the koshi, about like the chimes. Though any of those kind of things, those chime sounds are really high vibration and they feel good. If you listen to church music, like if I'm really down, I'll get my old-fashioned hymns from like way back in the day and play those on YouTube, right? So like whatever it is that's going to lift you into a higher vibration is the best way to make sure that you're not dealing with entities. Now, if you've been through something where that you're in a state of being down and you are like, you already know, like I almost wonder, the gal that asked this, if she knows maybe there is entities kind of messing with her a little bit. The best way to combat that is get in your own head, like, know what is my default thoughts? Like, where are my thoughts taking me? What is my overall vibration? And I don't know if you guys have seen that there's a vibrational scale, and I don't even remember, I want to say Hawking or Hawkins is the guy that came up with this vibrational scale. And I know there's another gal that teaches it, and it's called like Love or Above or something like that. And so it's that vibrational scale where it shows all the different vibrations of the emotions that we have, and how like once you get past, I think it's actually like once you get past being neutral, then you go into a higher vibration. So what neutral means is when you don't get like, when you don't get upset about something, right? When you can be like, okay, wait a minute, what just happened? Am I going to respond to this? Or am I going to just, react because that's the way I react and I'm pissed off? Or are you going to say, okay, wait a minute, what's the best way to respond to this without losing control and going way down into deep emotions, right? The thing is, if our default pattern in our programming is to go down the negative emotions and the negative patterns, then of course the entities are going to want, because they like that energy, right? But it's as simple, and I don't mean to make light of it because it is something serious to be talking about, but it's as simple as the little character, like the cartoon characters of the angel and the devil. And it's like, do you want a high vibration or do you want to go low? Like it's that simple. And so I don't want anybody to be afraid of it. So I see a few people watching. If you guys have questions, I can see the little things. So thank you for those who shared it. Please ask me questions, because I really do want to talk about this. And again, we will discuss it in Embodied Grace Community. So if anybody's seen the replay on that, we'll look at the replay and we'll talk about it. But I just want to make sure that you guys understand, like, the question was, how do you get them to leave your space? And I just want you to know the best way to get them to leave your space and leave you alone, to be honest, is to be in a high vibration, because they're going to be bored. They're not going to get off on any of that. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be like, whatever, this isn't helping me any. It's, it's too high vibration. I don't like it. I don't want to stay here. So, the best way to do that is start taking control of your own emotions, your own thoughts, your own feelings, all of that kind of stuff. Work on yourself, because the more you learn how to love yourself, the less lower negative emotions you're going to have, right? So again, it's as simple as what is your basic thought process? Where is your base vibration, right? And how do you raise that vibration? If you keep your vibration raised, there's a guy that I'm actually working with right now, and he says if you can do it for 21 days, they'll leave you alone, because they don't want to mess with it, right? So, and I think that's kind of why, like, it's good to have your home, like, happy. It's important to be in that space of happy, because when there's happy, when there's love, those things don't like to be around. But I will tell you, if there's something inside yourself that you don't love, or that you're like still beating yourself up over, or you haven't forgiven yourself for, or whatever, that's totally what they feed on. So the best way to make sure entities aren't bugging you is to make sure that you have your vibration high. Like, do the work that you need on yourself, do the internal work, get your thoughts under control. I know mindset, like, there's so many coaches out there right now about like mindset coaches are everywhere. And I am that's kind of what my life coaching program is a mindset program. But that's the best way to really combat these entities out there, because they don't want that. They feed on the lower vibration. They feed on, fear, anxiety, stress, panic, anger, all of those lower, sadness, self-hatred, those kind of things are the things that they feed on. So if you can, do the work, I'll try to see, I don't know if those photos are copyrighted or not, but I'll try to share one of those photos into the group, so that you can see what that, if you guys haven't seen that, what it is, like, so you can see that scale, so that you can learn how to bring yourself up into the higher vibration, because that's really all that's needed to be able to keep the entities away. So for the person that asked the question, I hope that clarifies it. And if you haven't seen the other video, watch it and let me know if you have questions, because you guys, I really do want to start talking about this stuff. I'm so tired of people being afraid of things. And I know I was afraid to tell anybody what I saw for the longest time. And now I'm like, there's no need to be afraid, because there's no reason to be afraid of it. So you might as well, we might as well all work together, right? Start talking about things and quit being so afraid of what's happening. Because again, the spiritual world is all around us. And I've been saying this for months, that I feel like the spiritual world is going to get like stronger and stronger, to where we have no choice but to at least acknowledge it. And I feel like that's happening now. So it's time to acknowledge it. Again, nothing to be afraid of. Like, please, 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 no fear. Just get to where you understand it. Yes, the other side of fear. That's really good. So get to where you understand it. Do the work you need to do. Mindset work is huge, but really, like, figure out what you need to do to keep that vibration inside of you as high as you can, because again, then there's nothing fun for them to play with, right? So that being said, let me know if you have any questions. It's really funny because I actually did just do a clearing, I think either the day I did the video or the day after. I can't remember how that fell in line because I don't remember what day I did the video on the entities, but like basically her store like it looked like it had been ransacked and there nobody had been in there. It was a spirit. And it had knocked some things off the counter and like threw some things around. And I'm like, I've been thinking for months that was going to happen. Like, I know that sounds like something out of a stupid TV show, but it happens in real life. It's just not very many of us talk about it, right? So it was no big deal. It took me, 10 minutes to clear it. And it's because there's no fear, right? So it was it literally was that easy. So it's nothing to be afraid of if you know what it is. So if you have the awareness, right? Which is why I keep saying, let's just talk about it. Let's not be afraid of it. Like, let's just talk about it. Know what you need to do. Know when you're having the thoughts, is this mine? So like, if you get a negative thought, ask yourself, is this mine? It might be that you still have unresolved, stuff that you need to work on in your own self-esteem or whatever. But it might be that it's not even you. Especially if you're like normally a high vibe person and all of a sudden you're like feeling down, like ask yourself, is this mine? Because if you internally know this isn't mine, you can say, you know what? No, go away. I'm not playing with you. And then do something right away to lift your vibration, right? So sage your house or play the bells, or whatever it is that's going to raise your vibration. Like, I love to do sage. I like to do incense. I love to play the music and play it out. I don't play it as loud now that we have neighbors closer, but when we lived in the house, I'd blare it, right? So or maybe others take it personal. That could be too. Yeah. So it's just about getting like in tune with yourself. The more in tune with yourself you can be, the better vibration you're going to have and the better things are going to be. So hopefully that clears it up. Thanks everybody for watching, and let me know if you guys have questions. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.